Hello, everyone, and welcome to another customer success webinar. We organize one customer success webinar per month. Today, we're going to discuss Publisher Assistant and Cover Image Generator. Cover Image Generator is a feature within our Publisher Assistant, Publishing Assistant tool. So, our Publishing Assistant tool is AI-powered tool, which is intended to make your publishing journey easier. From manuscript to marketplace, from the moment you upload your manuscript to the moment when you set it live on the stores, it handles industry-specific tasks to help your book succeed. So this tool is actually within PublishDrive a result of our continuous attempt to make publishing easier and more approachable for all of our users. In the long run, the plan is to include multiple services that will make publishing easier. So when I say to include, I mean include within the Publishing Assistant. But our team has decided to focus first on the metadata generation because that has been a pain point for many of our users in the past. And this feature is already available. So is the Cover Image Generator as well. And we are going to be touching base on both of these during our call today. Also, you do have very detailed articles in our help center, which are covering the topics as well, not just these topics, but also the topics that we have covered in our previous webinars as well. So I would encourage you, if you haven't had a chance to do that before, to check those out after the webinar, because you will find a lot of useful material. So, when it comes to the Publishing Assistant, the first and obvious question is, how does it work? The tool itself starts by analyzing the content of your book to ensure relevance, appeal, and then proceeds to create detailed metadata. So obviously, everyone who is involved in publishing understands how crucial metadata is in the online publishing process, because it is effectively acting as a bridge between your book's content and its potential readers. So effective metadata impacts visibility, impacts interest, and it does lead sales conversions, which is something that everyone wants to keep in mind when working on the presentation on their book and the metadata itself. So by optimizing metadata, our Publishing Assistant helps your books stand out in the competitive digital landscape. A tool like this does help bypass some of the common barriers to effective metadata creation. Sometimes authors can face challenges in creating effective metadata because emotional attachment to the work and then potential lack of detailed technical knowledge about the best performing metadata. And this is something that is always changing in the ecosystem where we are, can affect the process. So this is where our system comes in. So it is swiftly generating effective metadata so you can focus on the book itself, on your creative parts. And obviously, our assistant with creating the effective metadata can affect visibility, or rather significantly boost visibility, which results in sales. So this brings us to the logic behind the tool. So what does the tool do on the back end? So how does it generate the metadata that we're talking about? So it takes the textual content of your books in various formats. So we're talking about ebooks here specifically, and provides recommendations for metadata elements such as title, subtitle, series name, pen name, blurb, categories, keywords, and prices. That being said, you will receive recommendations, but there is still sufficient flexibility to fine-tune the results. You will be receiving multiple options, so you would, of course, select the preferred options. You can provide feedback, you can export the recommendations, and it generally integrates well with our distribution service because it was created as a part of the larger ecosystem within the PublishDrive. So actual use of the tool is very simple. You can access it from either through the direct link or through the platform apps list. When you log in into the platform, you will have the apps option on the right hand. You have the publishing assistant there, and you do have the option to just navigate there and go to publishing assistant. Additionally, there is a new full page product navigator. You must have seen it if you have used the platform in the previous couple of weeks. You must have seen the product navigator feature, and it shows you an easy way to navigate between services. So you would select to go to the publishing assistant, and that will lead you to the next page where you can start on the project with us. As an introductory promotion, this is included in the PublishDrive ecosystem, but it is paid by credits. I will talk about credits down. As an introductory promotion before you start, or actually when you start, you will receive 50 credits to start. This is sufficient to process one book. The idea is for you to try and see if you find the tool valuable. If you do, you can proceed to use it. If you don't, you're under no obligation. It is just intended to help. So, as I said, to process one book, it will typically take about 50 credits. The exact amount depends on the book's length and language. You can check your credit balance at any time by looking at the top right corner of the page when you are in the publishing assistant. When you click on the first tile, the one that says craft and optimize metadata, you start your journey. You will receive a pop-up window that will prompt you to upload your title and provide us with some information. So you will be seeing that on the screen. So you will first be asked to upload your manuscript. Currently, this is only pertaining to ebooks, so the accepted formats are EPUB, EPUB 2 and 3, DOCX, and PDF. One more thing, that is metadata crafting relies on the textual context. So it won't work with image only or minimal text content. So you want to be mindful of that, because obviously there are all kinds of books out there. So for optimal quality results, it is recommended to have a book with at least 1,000 words. Once you upload the book, you will be prompted to put down your title, format, the series name, if there is a series. Not everyone will have the series name, the number, where you would like to publish, what you're looking to do. You would click start, and then you will see a pop-up window that is going to say create a new task. It is going to take maybe a couple of minutes, maybe less. It really depends on the length of the manuscript. So I have an example on the slide that has used a book that everyone has seen. I have actually uploaded Frankenstein just to illustrate, to show you what type of recommendations you are going to receive from the platform. On the left-hand side, the system is done processing the book. On the left-hand side, you will see the categories. And we are going to go through each individual category to show you an example of how that looks when you go through different steps. So the first thing that the tool is going to suggest is the title. So you obviously entered your original title, right? And you're more than welcome to keep it, but you will receive alternative options. So for Frankenstein, it has, for example, recommended Victor's Creation, The Gothic Monster, A Revenge in the Ice, The Arctic Haunt, The Creation's Curse. And you will see that there is a button that says Generate More. So you will see that as we go along. If you like any of the suggestions, great. If you don't like them, you can skip them or ask the system to generate more different suggestions for you. The next one is the subtitle. Again, it is a powerful search method, and when I have entered this into the system, I have used the one that this book already has, which is Or Modern Prometheus. The suggested ones by the system are A Tale of Creation and Consequence, The Shadows of Scientific Ambition, Echoes of Isolation and Revenge. So the point of this exercise is to use a book that everyone is reasonably familiar with, and then just show you what type of output you can expect to get from the system. So the next one is going to be the pen name, which again, you can use or not. Obviously, I haven't used the pen name. I have used the actual author's name. So there was no pen name as such. So, and then because this is a Gothic work of fiction, the system is going to suggest something that is going to sound that way. So what do we have? We have Victor Moorgrave, Ethan Blackwood, Silas Grimwald. So different suggestions. All of these items are going to be showing on the left-hand side, and they will go one after the other. And you have the little arrows in the bottom of the screen where you can move between the different items that you are reviewing. It will also suggest a series name for you. It is very handy, especially if you're looking for inspiration on that front. Again, this is for Frankenstein, so there is no need for the series, but just so you have an idea what type of output it might come up with. So there it is going by default to offer you 3 of the blurbs. You can generate more if you would like. I think you will note that they are somewhat different in style. They are going to be covering the same topic. They're going to be focusing on the same piece of art, but they are going to be taking slightly different angles at doing that. So I think that you will definitely find something that you will like on that front. Also, one upcoming very important items, we're talking then about categories, keywords, and price. So first we're talking about the categories. This is very important in terms of making sure that your book gets proper visibility and that your book is seen by the audience that is looking exactly what your book is. So we know how important categories are, and also we know that sometimes with the number of overall categories that can be used, it can be somewhat overwhelming to pick the correct one. The suggestions provided by this tool are generally very useful. You will also be suggested the official BISAC categories. This is maybe a trickier part when you are selecting them and when you are going for categories. These can be a bit trickier to select and identify correctly. So I would say that this part of the tool is very, very useful. So again, like I said, there is a generate more. If you're unsure, you can generate more, see what your options are, and of course, use your experience and best judgment to eventually the ones that you find the most valuable. Going back, so we are going to go to the keywords. So again, you can choose a number of keywords. Words as a whole are going to be the targeting, make it or break it, because the categories and keywords are the ones that are making sure that you are showing your book to the audience that is looking for that you are successfully making a connection between the book and its intended audiences. It can be used, if not to rely on it completely, but as inspiration, because oftentimes it can be tricky to select the most successful keywords. That brings us to the pricing, and obviously the key in pricing is going to be your experience, your personal choice, but ultimately you want to be mindful of how your competitors are pricing similar work, so you have room within the existing market. This is why you will get our recommendations for the pricings, and it's going to give you specifics regarding the pricing and who you're targeting with specific set of prices. For some metadata types, specifically title, subtitle, series, pen name, and blurb, you can generate unlimited recommendations as many times as you wish. For other types like keywords, price, Amazon categories, and BISAC categories, the recommendations are limited. You can request more options by pressing generate more, but eventually you will be notified that no further recommendations can be generated. Again, important to note, generating more suggestions will use additional credit from your balance. There is a specific table outlining the cost. You should be aware ahead of time that credits are going to be deducted for these. I will talk more about credits and how you can get more and how much you can use and how it works down the line. You can always add funds to your account. As I said, you will see how many credits you have available in the top right-hand corner of your screen when you are within the app. You can always add more if you need to, and you can pay by either card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, whatever works for you. There is a list of the specific costs. So you want to make sure that you are aware of the cost. I want to make sure that the users are aware of everything before they start using the tool, so there are no misunderstandings in terms of what can and cannot be done and what is included in the base service versus what is not. This can add quite a bit of value to the users, depending obviously what you're looking to do. It does offer significant insight into metadata generation. So I would encourage you to use the test credits that you receive by default and see if this is something for you. If you don't think that you would benefit, you don't need to use the tool, but give it a chance, try to see if you're happy with the results. I have gone through the information that it generates for a well-known book. You can do it for one of your books, see if you like the trends you're seeing, and then decide if you want to use it for different books. So, in addition to the metadata generator tool, I would like to proceed to the cover image generator, and it is intended to help you make effective cover images. This tool is it falls under the publishing assistant. As I said, there are going to be more additions as we go along, and there are going to be more things you will be seeing and more things that this tool is going to be helping down the line. In order to access the tool, you will need to navigate to apps and to publishing assistant. And once you click on that, you will be taken to the page you can see on the screen, and then you will see that there is a tile, create cover image. In order to start, the start button, and you can go from there. So once you click on the start under the create a cover image, you will be prompted to provide the details about your book. You will obviously need to upload the content of your book first. You will first be prompted to upload the content file. So it can be used for both ebooks and audiobooks, but we need the file in the written format. So we would need it to be PDF, EPUB, or X. Once you uploaded your file, you would be prompted to provide basic data. So the cover needs to contain the author and the title. So you will be asked to provide these in addition to a subtitle, which is optional depending on the book. You will check if everything is correct. You will click on the start. Once you click on the start, you will get a pop-up window, which looks very much like the one in the publishing assistant that is telling you that processing is in progress. So once the processing of the content is finished, you will be taken to the next step, and then you can start to generate your covers. So to help you with that, the generation is split into 2 levels. So level 1 is going to include scene selections, possible scenes that are get generated from the content. So the AI assistant processed some books, your book, and selected some scenes that could be perfect for the cover. So you will get the options of scenes that it has selected. The AI assistant, so the cover image generator, will select 4 scenes. If you want, you can ask it to generate more. 4 is just default. If you wanted to generate more, you would click on Generate More Scenes button, and you will receive 2 more scenes each time you click on this button. So, specific case, but going back to the default case, it will select 4 scenes. For each scene, it will generate 3 covers. So again, if you ask the AI assistant to select more scenes, it will also show 3 cover options for those as well. So first, it is picking the scenes that it thinks are going to make for a good cover. It makes 4 scenes. It is going to generate 3 separate covers. So covers for the specific scene. So then you're going to be looking at the covers for a specific scene once you have chosen the scene that you think would make sense. So you select the scene you would like to see on the cover of the book, and then you can generate any number of images for that particular scene. So you will be to see the covers generated. You will click View Covers, which is under each of the scenes. And then you will see the covers that the system has generated for the scene that you have selected. You have the option to customize the scene details by clicking on the Customize Scene Details button, which is if you opt to do the customization, you have the option to customize text formatting and the scene details. So when it comes to the text formatting, you can customize title. None of that is obligatory, obviously, but you can customize title, subtitles, author, or some additional text. When it comes to the scene details, you can customize genre, scene description, background, and optionally the main message. When it comes to managing the generated cover images, you can organize them and arrange them in different ways. You can list them as favorites by clicking the little heart icon at the top right corner. You can change that anytime you want. Your favorite covers are going to be seen on the left-hand side. You can hide some of them, again, by clicking on the icon. You can obviously change that anytime you want. You can download them at any time. You can generate audiobooks covers. So again, you would be clicking on the icon of headphones to do this. And then option to generate more covers. You can view them, like them, unlike them, hide, download all of them. You can edit them. So any of the existing ones you can edit. And obviously you can view any of them at any time. All of these are going to be shown on the left-hand side when you open the cover image generator. So they all remain visible. Of course, you do have the opportunity to delete them whenever you want, or to keep them, hide them, rearrange them. The goal is to make your life easier. If you encounter any issues with any of the aspects of either Publishing Assistant, the metadata generator, or the cover image generator, you can always reach out to our support team so they can help you with that. If you have question about functionalities as well, you can also reach out to our support system and they can let about the options available. You can use it anytime. None of these need to be specifically enabled for you. You can access them anytime. So these are just the essentials regarding the 2 tools that are currently live. This is a work in progress, and as we release new options, we are going to communicate that on our website, on our blog, probably through email notifications as well. If you start to use Publishing Assistant, you will most definitely see new tiles and new options show up. If you're not able to find information on that, I would recommend checking the Help Center. There is a lot of valuable resources there. But in addition to that, you can always reach out to our team and ask for more information, because all of this is intended to make the publishing journey easier for you. If you have questions, you're welcome to ask, and someone from our team can help clarify. You do have the testing credits if you would like to see if this is something that you could benefit from. So I would encourage you to take a look and see if it works. If there are any questions, you can post them as comments, and I will try to answer. And also, I wanted to let you know that we are going to be continuing with the webinars. We have an upcoming webinar that is going to be dealing with audiobooks, because a lot of publishers do encounter issues when it comes to creating audio files, naming them, making sure they follow some rules that are not necessarily commonly known. So we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about copyrights and the need and why, because quite often we do receive feedback regarding books that have been written by the author, and they're like, okay, this is my book. Unfortunately, there are that we need to follow for different stores that we utilize. We're going to go into detail about that as well. We have a question: how many credits does a book cover image take? It depends on the book cover image. The typical 3 cover options are going to be probably between 40 and 50 credits, depending on the book. It's not set in stone. Depends on the book, on the complexity, on the length, on the amount of text. But that would be the ballpark number. So we only had one question. If you have questions or comments, you can reach out to our support team. And I wish you all happy publishing, and I hope that I will see you all on the next webinar as well. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day, and happy publishing.